Hi gamers, and welcome to a Drafthouse Diary for Sunday, December 29th, 2024, when I went to the Alamo Drafthouse at Littleton's Aspen Grove to see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. A little background, because this is part of a franchise. I kind of like the Sonic movies. I'm not entirely sure why, but I do. I think they have found the right tone. They have found the right cast. They take their stories seriously enough without taking themselves as a franchise too seriously. I thought the second movie was not quite as good as the first. It got a little bit too cringy, a little bit too sitcom-y at times, but it was still pretty strong. And that brings us to Sonic 3. There were some things about Sonic 3 that were just as good as the others. They built on the tone. They built on the characters. There's actual character development for Sonic and other characters as they progress through this franchise. And some of that was done very well. The action, of course, does escalate. There is inflation as to the stakes of the action, the drama of the action, the technology that they have at their disposal, what Sonic and the family from Green Hills, Montana, wind up getting into, how big and heavily equipped and long-standing the gun organization is, the Guardian Units of Nations, which is not really the bad guy organization, not really the unalloyed good guy organization. That has an interesting place in the whole Sonic lore, but that's getting into more than I want to talk about for this movie. All of those were fine. I expected that kind of escalation, those kind of changes as we get into the third chapter in a franchise that I would say is both a video game adaptation and also a comic book and cartoon adaptation, because Sonic has come to us in many different forms over the decades. Where the movie really loses its way is probably the thing that the filmmakers, or the studio at least, thought was their ace in the hole. Maybe it was. But a little bit of Jim Carrey goes a long way. And I thought Jim Carrey was excellent casting for Dr. Ivo Robotnik, aka Eggman. He was just menacing enough, just laughable enough. All of that fit the tone of the movies, fit the tone of the character as we've seen him in the games and other parts of the Sonic universe. And they had the right dose. They had just enough of him in the first movie. They had a little bit more in the second movie, and I think they were treading a thin line in having him overwhelm the movie. He absolutely overwhelms the movie in Sonic 3. And that's because we've got Jim Carrey not playing one Robotnik, but we have him playing two Robotniks. We have him playing the character from the first two movies and the character's long-lost grandfather. And that makes sense. I was expecting some of that. That's fine, because more so than the other two movies, this is a very direct and in some ways faithful adaptation of a story from a specific game. This was based upon Sonic Adventure 2, which gives us Shadow the Hedgehog, brilliantly voiced by Keanu Reeves, gives us a very in-depth story, and it gives us a connection between Ivo Robotnik and his grandfather. And in the game, his grandfather is seen only in the form of clips from a video diary, which dole out information over the course of the game. In the movie, the grandfather comes back, reunites in the flesh with his grandson, and we get lots and lots of the movie is Jim Carrey playing against Jim Carrey, or playing off of Jim Carrey, and playing practically the same character as he does so. It really got irritating. It was really too much. It overwhelmed everything else that was going on, and it brought the whole thing down, made the whole thing more cringy and less enjoyable. I wish I could see an edit of this movie which emphasized and showed us all the things that were good about it and just greatly diminished the Jim Carrey-ness of it all. And I acknowledge maybe that's me. Maybe there are some people seeing this movie who are thinking, this is great. It's all the stuff I liked most in the first two movies, and we've got 4 times as much. If you're enjoying that, terrific. For me, it was a disappointment. I want to tell you about the rest of my trip to the Alamo, but in the meantime, if you're enjoying this, please click that thumbs up button to like the video. And if you want more of these as they come out, click subscribe. I do one of these Drafthouse Diaries for every one of my visits to an Alamo Drafthouse anywhere in the country. The Alamo Drafthouse pre-show for Sonic 3 was very good. It was very much created for this movie, or at least for the Sonic franchise, and it was mostly Sonic on TV. And that gave us commercials and toy tie-ins and cartoon openings and music and all of these things from all over the world, from Japan, from the United States, from India and Pakistan, from Australia. We also had a few other Nintendo and video game related things. We had the trailer for the original Mario Brothers movie, and all of this was bookended by some video of real hedgehogs. It started out with this adorable little short of someone giving a hedgehog a bath, and it ended with clips of someone trying to feed a hedgehog and figure out what foods it was going to like. So as pre-shows go, for this movie and for this franchise, it was just right. I did not get a meal at this visit. We were going out for dinner after the movie. I just got some popcorn and I got a left-hand milk stout, which is one of my go-tos there at the Alamo. A very good beer. The auditorium was mostly full. I think this movie does have a lot of popularity. It's going to be around for a while. And the service I thought was very good. Thank you very much for joining me for this Drafthouse Diary. I'll be back soon with more. In the meantime, enjoy your movies, and when you do, stay till the end of the credits.